What's good, YouTube? Steel here, and today's video we're covering the BLISSEY EX Drop Event that has officially launched. This is a little late. Like, I usually try to release this like a few hours after release, but here it is anyways. As always, we'll break down the event, the missions, the promos, as well as the deck that I recommend. But let's jump into what we're playing for, which is the promos. Starting with the high rarity, like I guess the main chase of the set, which is BLISSEY EX, is there's actually 3 promo exclusives as well as 2 alternate arts. For BLISSEY EX, we see here it's a 4 damage, happy punch 100 damage, flip of coins, if heads, heal 60. Personally, I don't feel like any of the promos will see immediate impact on the meta. I don't see BLISSEY seeing any play. I love to be like, I guess, proven wrong, but nonetheless, it's remember, promos, like at least to this point, drop events, the only way to get these cards is through the event. There's no other way. You can't trade for them, you can't pull them anywhere else. So despite how good or bad they are as a collector, I always try to get my playset of every card that's released in these events. So we're starting with BLISSEY EX. Then we have Kangaskhan, which is a reprint. This is the exact same Kangaskhan that you could pull from Wisdom of Sea and Sky. As you can see, it has crosscut 20+. If your opponent's active Pokemon's in evolution, it does the 40. It's a nice artwork. Again, it's the only way you could get it. As you can see, I've only pulled one. I had to keep playing the event to get that second one. Then we have Houndoom, which is also a reprint from the set. It's just an alternate art. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Again, one of those that you just want to collect everything. Chinchou is actually one that was interesting, although I don't find this Chinchou like to be like meta relevant. Flip a coin if heads, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. I feel like the fact that this card exists, right, like the effect exists, is something that they might apply in the future to a better card or a better engine, and that's where it matters. I know that Umbreon already has a Cyrus effect, but seeing, like, I guess this is technically like above Sabrina. This would be like a Gust or a Boss's Orders or that kind of effect on a basic Pokemon is pretty solid. And yeah, basically thinking that they might apply this to something better in the future, sort of how like Grindcore started as a trainer, then they gave it to Guzzlord, then they started slowly giving it to other Pokemon. Is that type of thing that I'm referring to. And then we have Horsea, which Horsea is also a promo exclusive. Water Arrow, this attack does 10 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not sure how I feel about this. The fact that Horsea, the one from the set, does 30 damage is currently more meta relevant, because if you're going against like a baby Pokemon strategy, being able to one-shot those is probably better than anything this does. It's not like in the Decidueye deck where you want to spread damage so that you're able to hit with Decidueye later. Nonetheless, those are the 5 promos in this event. As always, I recommend trying to get as many as possible, so we only focus on playing the expert level. But let's jump into the actual challenges. All right, so as you can see here, there's 4 different levels. If you just start the event, the only thing you'll see is beginner, and you have to play through each one of them. One thing that I have to recommend is that the only one that guarantees the promo pack outside of the first attempt is expert. So once you beat every single one of them once, all you want to play is an expert. That I feel like I have to say that before I say anything else, because if you didn't know, now you do. Regardless, it's important that you do all of them, because you do have the first time reward where it guarantees you some amount of hourglasses and the promo pack. After that, you don't get to do it. So my recommendation is always to beat all the tasks in one go. That's why the deck that you see here is going to be able to complete all the tasks for all the difficulties, right? So we have to knock out fighting Pokemon. I mean, knock out a Pokemon with a fighting type and put 3 basics down. We're going to have that covered. For intermediate, we'll have to do it twice, as well as put a stage 1. Trust me, our deck has that as well. Win by turn 14. Trust me, you'll do it much faster. You see, this one gives us 4 instead of 2, as well as the promo pack and some shop ticket. And then for advanced, we have, again, you have to beat 2 things with a fighting Pokemon. But this time you have to play 3 diamonds or less. That's why the list I'm presenting will have 3 diamonds or less throughout, so you could run through from beginner all the way to expert with something that meets all the requirements, no matter which of the level or the difficulties that you're doing. Win without giving a point. That's why we don't play Marshadow. A spoiler alert: I don't play Marshadow, because since they want you to win without giving any points, it's kind of counterproductive to play a card that requires for something to get knocked out. Even though once you do it once, you know, it is what it is. And then we have expert level, where again it's 3 diamonds or less, win by 12, and win without giving points. This one's a little more lenient. Like, if you miss one of these, you could just keep going, because you have to win it 10 and 20 more times if you want to get all the prizes anyways. So realistically, this is one of those where you could beat it once with the deck that I present, and then play your favorite deck or your fastest deck or whatever you want after the fact, and just take this challenge as many times as you need. I always try to get the max amount of prizing, but if you don't value Wonder Glasses, realistically you're done once you beat this, or I guess once you get the promos that you want, right? Regardless, let's take a quick look at the deck list. The reason I'm doing it like this and not my standard like looking at the deck is like Limitless, which is how I do my deck list, don't have the promos yet, so we're kind of like winging it here. But as you can see, their expert level is like a whole baby strategy that's trying to build up Bliss. Like, I see what they're going for. They have Cape, a bunch of healing. They have will so that you can guarantee the heal. Although in my personal experience, I've yet to see BLISSEY miss. But trust me, all of this is like, what matters is the deck that we're using. So let's jump right to that. So to no surprise, the deck that we're using for this event is Rampardos Lucario. It's just the best deck to do anything when it requires fighting and 3 damage or less. There's nothing does it better than Rampardos. And I guess for that, in that matter, Lucario, you could technically do like a fighting box where you take out Rampardos and maybe you play Tyrogue and you just focus on Lucario giving more damage. But realistically, this is as solid as it gets. I play cards that might not be seen in a regular build, like PCOM, Cape, X-Speed. Those are like usually reserved for like Sabrina's or Mars or whatever, but we don't have to play the meta relevant like support cards. We just have to worry about our opponent. The reason we play Giovanni is because Giovanni plus Lucario and like Rampardos plus the Lucario buff plus Geo is exactly 180 plus, oh wait, you have to add the weakness from BLISSEY as well, right? A Hitmonchan is important because the 30 damage knocks out the Pichus immediately. Also, Hitmonchan plus Lucario is able to knock out a Raikou that swings at Hitmonchan, and since Raikou only does 70, Hitmonchan tanks it. So Hitmonchan is really important. Yes, you could play the Hitmonlee, that's exactly the same card. I'm just a Hitmonchan fan. It is what it is. There's not much to say about this deck. I wish I could present more or have like some like crazy insight. Realistically, this is a deck that's existed since space-time and will continue to exist probably for the rest of the time. But yeah, to meet the requirements of fighting is why we're not playing Exovala and Rampardos. And then Lucario boost just comes in clutch. Lucario being at 100 HP also means that you tank Raikou as well. Not to mention that, I guess one thing that I want to explain is Cape and Giovanni. Like I said, Giovanni plus Rampardos and all the cards necessary beat BLISSEY, but Geo plus Riolu also knock out Pichu. As well as Cape allows you for, if BLISSEY swinging at Lucario, you could tank a hit. If Rampardos knocks out a Pokemon and they send out BLISSEY, you could take that hit as well. So yeah, I think Cape is really important. I think Geo is really important, but I don't think I'd play more than one of any of them. X speed is so if you start Riolu and then draw into Hitmonchan and you want to put up the Hitmonchan to knock out a Pichu, you can. It also helps so like if you have Riolu and you have to evolve into Lucario just to tank a Raikou, X speed makes it so like with one energy you could jump back into the Rampardos. Trust me, once you go into practice, it'll work. As always, I always put gameplay to give you the best example on how to use it, or to give you an idea of how to play it. You'll see it's very easy. It's just a matter, I guess the only tedious part is how many times you have to beat the challenge in order to get all the promos. So I'm wishing you all the best of luck in finding it as fast as possible. Other than that, I just want to thank y'all for watching. I want you to please consider subscribing as we're getting closer and closer to the goal of 1,000. And above all else, stay pro. All right, going first. Not ideal, but I guess we could make it work, right? X speed helps a lot, but okay, Rampardos. Let's go Pokeball first because we're trying to find not X speed, Rare Candy and the Fossil. You see, had we been going second, the Pichu was already gone, right? Okay, let's go Fossil. Let's go. Yeah, let's go Hitmonchan. They're not attacking next turn. We could hold Cape and use it accordingly. They're not playing Mars, Red Card, anything like that, so we're fine. Right, Pokeball. Okay, so no hole. Interesting. I guess they added a baby. I really don't know what they would Pokeball that they wouldn't put down, but let's see here. Let's commit to the X speed here. Well, the reason I'm not playing Marshadow is because one of the challenges is to win without losing a point. Not to mention that leading Marshadow is like really bad, like really slow. And you'll see like in your own experience that you won't feel like you need it. If you do, there's definitely cards you could cut to make it work. Alright, there I got BLISSEY and it's got 3 energy. That's a wasted will if I've ever seen one. Technically, they start flipping a lot of heads, it could get annoying, but luckily we got Lucario here. Could set that up. And you see, that's why Cape on Hitmonchan would have been useless, but the Cape on the Lucario follow-up is solid. Not to mention if we find Rare Candy, the game's just over, but alright. Really hoping they don't get the head flip, but they also play PCL, right? They have like a lot of healing outside of the BLISSEY alone. All right. Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's guaranteed heads. Sometimes it feels like it feels that way. All right, we could get greedy, send out the fossil. I'm gonna do this only because we have a second fossil. So if we draw rare candy here, we're like really in the money. Nonetheless, like there was ways around it, right? Obviously, that's like very lucky, but once again, still holding cape. There's multiple uses for it. We could put this down now. Had we not seen the rare candy, we would have gone into Lucario with cape. We would have hit him for 80, and then it depends how much healing they had. But the cape with Lucario, we would have been able to withstand that. And they're basically just admitting defeat here. But again, it feels like they always get the heal. I don't know why they play Will, but you see, and this is another way where cape matters. Granted, here we win the game regardless of Rampardo surviving or not. But in certain cases where you want Rampardos to be able to swing twice, let's say this was our first 2 points, the cape would let Rampardo swing one more time and knock out Raikou next turn. So yeah, that's like the reasoning behind the cape. You could technically play 2, but I do think that's a little too much. You just really need the 1, whether it's to let Lucario survive, whether it's to let Rampardo survive its own self-inflicting damage, whatever it is. The cape is definitely handy, just you don't need more than 1. And as always, we do multiple examples, so let's jump to example number 2. Alright, going first again, unfortunately, but also I know that last example you could technically make a case for like, well, I got lucky, they didn't do anything. You have to also keep in mind that Ho, like Lucario plus Rampardos knocks out Ho in one shot as well, so it's like it's not like them not having Blissey, like any other start wouldn't have been any better, right? Oof, this is solid too. We already have the pieces for Rampardos. We just gotta wait it out. And the X speed makes it where we could build up, we could evolve it to Lucario, take a hit, and still like evolve, right? Although I guess we could just clearly X speed. X speed is definitely the play here. They hit for 70. Yeah, I think the correct play here is just going Cranidos. If they played Sabrina or something, then I would consider not putting down Lucario. And if they do play Sabrina, I just completely forgot right now. I apologize. I guess I guess another correct play could have been communication Rampardos into something else so that I could put something on the bench. But again, this is basically GG's. They'll hit us for 70. We evolve. We knock it out. Game's over. Even if they find something on the bench, they can't really build it up. What's crazy? Okay, yeah, what's crazy? We don't even need Evolve Rampardos in this situation. For the knockout, they're going to self-inflict 20 damage. Yeah, let's communicate, try to find... Alright, that's... But yeah, we're not going to evolve here. Because we get 50 damage plus 20, 70 with Lucario, and then weakness, we go to 90. And they have nothing that could attack us next turn. And that saves us from recoil damage on Rampardos, like unnecessary recoil damage. And again, you can say like, oh, you got lucky, they didn't see their play. Trust me, funny enough, it is just a bad like deck made from, like I don't understand what they thought when they were making the Blissey deck, or like because obviously we didn't see it here, but trust me, the AI plays it so awkwardly, which is to our advantage, right? But yeah, this list that I'm presenting to you meets all the requirements. It's all fighting. I mean. That's not part of it. I mean, it's all 3 diamonds or less. It's super effective against the normal type. It clears the necessary requirements for the beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That's where the fighting matters. The 3 diamonds or less for advanced and expert. And basically, you saw we didn't give any points. And yep, that's basically it. Hopefully, you guys have a lot of luck with the promos. I got pretty lucky. I think I got all 5 already within like the first, I guess, like run through or play through the event. As always, any questions or suggestions that you have, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching, and above all else, stay pro.